Hey guys, how you doing? It's Quack here, Blue Diamond Directing Your Health. Today's video, I really want to show you how to draw the cash flow quadrant, okay? So the cash flow quadrant is a very powerful concept that you need to understand yourself, and then you need to obviously be able to draw it and explain to people in a way where they can understand it and you can duplicate that to your teams, okay? So today I'm going to show you how I do it, and I'm going to show you in a simple way that is very duplicatable, and that if you stick to it and just listen to this video over and over again, you're going to understand how to draw it like this and really apply it to your business, okay? Now, to set the cash flow quadrant up, you obviously have to edify the quadrant and why you're even talking about it, okay? So Robert Kiyosaki is a multi-millionaire investor and business owner, and he's in his book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is the #1 wealth creation book on the planet. In this book, he talks about the cash flow quadrant, okay? And he talks about 4 types of people. So at the start of the conversation, you must edify Robert Kiyosaki and the cash flow quadrant, okay? So once you do that, you're going to explain what the book what it does, okay? So in the book, he talks about 2 mentalities: the poor, okay, and the rich, okay? And we want to explain each quadrant when we go through this. So on the left-hand side, we have 2 types of people. We got an employee or a self-employed or a small business, okay? So on the left-hand side, Kiyosaki says that 95% of people on this side, they only share in 5% of the wealth, okay? So if you're on this left-hand side, you have a common core value, and their core value is they trade their time, right, for money. Now, you've got to explain what this means to the person, okay? So, the best way to explain this is using an example, okay? So, for example, an employee. So, where do you work? So you ask a question. Say they work at McDonald's, okay? Cool, so you work 8 hours at McDonald's, alright? So you give your time, alright? You give your 8 hours away to your boss, and he pays you with money, okay? Self-employed, let's say you're a personal trainer. You train 40 clients a week. Each client you train them 1 hour a week, 1 hour a session. So that's 40 hours in a week that you're giving away for money. So you're giving your 40 hours away for the money. Okay? So you make them understand the concept of what trading time for money is. Okay? And then this is the key question or statement you got to say. So all the successful business owners, multi-millionaires, and all the successful people on the planet tell us if we're on the left-hand side of the quadrant where we're trading our time for money, we can never be financially free. And that's a statement you gotta make sure they understand. You can never be financially free. Now you gotta explain what the hell that means, right? So what it means is you gotta ask another question, and I like to ask this question: what do most people want most in their life? What do most people want most in their life? And they're going to give me more money, more gym time, or whatever it is, right? I'm going to agree with whatever they say. I'm going to say, yeah, I agree, I understand. I also think that time is really important to everyone, right? And they go, yeah. They can relate to that, because now I'm going to make them understand my point of view. So I believe that time is very important, because if you had more time in your life, you could do the things that you want to do. You can spend more time with your family, you can spend more time with your kids, you can spend more time at the gym, you can spend more time doing the things you want to do. In order for you to do that, you need more time, right? Okay? So once you go from here, you've got to understand that, explain this a little bit more about this, okay? So you can see what system we're in. So we call it the 9 to 5 system, or the trap. Okay? The reason why I call it the trap is we want more times in our life. Okay? But the thing is that we're giving time away every day to our boss, and we're getting money in return, right? So how can we get more time in our life if we're giving time away? Doesn't make sense, right, guys? So you see there, I made them understand the concept of giving time away will never get them more time in their life, and that's why they can never be financially free. Okay? So once you explain all that, it's just pretty basic, these 3 concepts, okay? Then you move on to the right hand side. So on the right hand side, obviously it's a different mentality. Now they master the power of leverage. Okay, I'll explain to you what that is in a minute. So in his book he tells us that there's only 5% of people over here sharing in 95% of the wealth. Okay, and big business, they have a system in place. Investors make money work for them, okay? So you explain this to people. So an investor, basically they invest, I don't know, $15,000 to $20,000 into maybe the share market and then watch their money grow, or their money works for them, okay? And then you explain the big business. So, and then this is an explanation that helps me explain leverage to them, okay? So a big business is described in Forbes magazine as 500 plus employees. Okay? So to create leverage, what this guy does is, let's say you're the CEO of a company and you have 500 people working for you. And let's say they work 8 hours a day. So they work 8 hours a day times 500 people. That equates to 4,000 hours. So you as a CEO have created 4,000 hours in a 24-hour day. And therefore you have harnessed the power of leverage. Do you understand that? See, so I give them an example of what leverage looks like and explains to them how leverage works in this scenario. Okay, so they understand it a lot more. Okay. Then I talk about, okay, on this side, there's time, there's money, and there's freedom on this side, okay? After I read that, I say, okay, honestly guys, which side do you want to be on? Do you want to be on this side, the left-hand side, or the right-hand side? And everyone's going to say the right-hand side. Because on the right-hand side, you can create time, money, and freedom, okay? But I believe there's two things stopping us from going over to the right hand side. Okay? How much does it cost to open a business that has 500 employees? Millions of dollars, right? So it's going to cost a lot of money. And it is also going to be risky. Because you have to get a loan out and all this stuff, you got to put your house on the line, all that stuff, right? So it costs a lot of money, right? And it's quite risky at the same time. So you can see why it's more comfortable to be on this side, where you just have a job and you're just giving your time away and for money. That's more comfortable. That's more easy for us to do. So you can see and you can understand why 95% of people on this side, because they don't want to fork out so much money and put the risk up. Okay. What I'm trying to tell you guys is, if you're on this side, just prepare to work till you're 85, okay? Ask yourself, with what you're doing right now, are you prepared to work in that job until you're 85? Okay, if the answer is no, you have to make that transition over. Now, I'm going to show you something where network marketing, my business model, can help you get from the left hand to the right hand side. Now, it's going to have low startup costs and low risk. And it's going to create a system and it's going to create leverage so you can create time, money, and freedom in your life. Now I'm going to explain a little bit more of how that works, okay? But I want you guys to understand this concept. If you aren't willing to work 85 in your job right now, you have to make that transition over. And I'm going to show you how network marketing can offer you to become a business builder, but also have a system and create leverage where it's low startup cost and low risk. Okay, let me show you how it works. And that's how you explain the cash flow quadrant, guys. Now, it takes a lot of practice to master this, but if you look on the board, it's only, 4 types of concepts that you have to understand. And this, what I have here is very duplicatable and it makes it easier for people to understand. To make this powerful and to make people understand this, you must use examples. Okay, guys? If you explain this and don't use any examples, they won't understand it. And when they don't understand it, you're going to lose the power in the presentation. They're not going to be open-minded to what you're saying. Okay? So it's very important you guys practice this and teach your team this. Okay? That's it for me, guys. Thank you for listening and tuning in. I'll see you next time.